Hello, my name is David Ball and I'm with Full Sail University, and this is my interview project. Today I'm here with Glen Mears, and she's been a high school counselor for many years, and now she is a counselor for the Red Cross organization, and she's also a delegation leader for the Fort Worth Sister Cities program, which means that she works with Fort Worth in conjunction with cities around the world and takes students as an exchange program to see other cultures. So I understand that the Fort Worth Sister Cities program sent you and some students recently to China. Could you tell us a little bit about that trip?
Yes, I can.
Tell us about some of the places that you were allowed to see while you were in China.
Well, I think that it's really good that you said it just that way, allowed to visit, because it is a communist country, and where you go and what you are allowed to see, who you are pretty much allowed to talk to, is prescribed by the communist regime. And so all of the things that we did, the people who went had to be vetted before we were allowed to go into communist China. The first thing we did on arrival was to have an official meeting with the communist education people, and it was very much a matter of protocol. What was said, what we responded with. It was all pretty much orchestrated. There wasn't much freedom to speak extemporaneously. At the end of that meeting, we were introduced to the people with whom we would be staying. And so our first stop was 5 days in the home of Chinese people. And that was a very important part of our trip, to have that home contact. After that, we went to a minority village, the Miao village. The people are the Miao people. There were probably 3,000 people who lived there, and the average income of these villagers was less than $600, the equivalent of $600 a year. They were very gracious to us. I had the feeling they probably had not had many people to come and stay in their village. But I think that being allowed to stay in that village was an unusual situation for us. We were really honored to be allowed to do this.
So tell us a little bit about Beijing. What were some of your impressions of that city in comparison to some of the other places that you visited?
We did visit Beijing. In fact, we had a briefing by the American Embassy there. And I think that was really important for us to know what we had seen, what was going on. But I think it was really important for American students to see exactly how the Communist Party allows information to be imparted to the people of China. And it is very restrictive. The people of China do not know what is going on in their government. But I think it's significant to know at what level the average Chinese people live when you visit them. Because when you see the news, you are seeing party officials who are in Beijing who live quite sumptuously, but only 40 miles outside of Beijing, the story is quite different.
Could you describe for us one of your most memorable experiences while you were visiting China?
Keeping in mind that most of the students that I take on these trips are from middle-class families, some more affluent than others, but basically middle class. I didn't really know how they would handle being in the minority village. We were there for 3 days, and as the day progressed, I found that our students were doing more and more to help the family that we were staying with. It wasn't unusual for me to get up and go downstairs, and I would have my girls in the kitchen at the wok, stirring things or doing whatever to help around. Well, I was not only amazed, I was touched at the level of empathy that these students had for the minority villagers.
Well, this was a lot of great information today. We really appreciate you visiting with us and taking the time. Glen, I want to thank you very much for interviewing with me today.
You are welcome, and I appreciate having the opportunity to talk about Fort Worth Sister Cities, because this program is available all over the United States for cities who might like to participate in it.
I think the Fort Worth Sister City program is a fantastic program, and we should probably have more exchanges like this.
Right. It's won the national award for the last 8 years in Washington, and the award is presented by the president.
Oh, nice. Well, this is David Ball from Full Sail University, and thanks for watching.